All right, I had to stand up for this one, right? I'm very passionate about this, and the reason I'm passionate about it is because you guys aren't. I have to be on fire about this topic for you guys to be lukewarm, right? Life insurance. We're going to talk about life insurance because every time I sit down with a young person, most of the time they have no idea about life insurance. And when I mention it, they say, "Oh, I got that through work. I don't need to talk about it." Right? So this intro is going to be talking about why your group term policy through work is not an end game solution and why you should seriously consider owning your own, personally owned individual policy, right? So group term through work. The first issue is that you don't own it. Your company owns it, right? They can make changes whenever you want, whenever they want. And as soon as you leave, because you don't own it, it's usually not portable, which means it is terminated as soon as you leave your company, right? Even if you do work for the same firm for the rest of your life and you retire at that firm, as soon as you retire, the company is going to do everything they can to price you out of that policy. They're going to increase the premium and decrease the death benefit. You're going to, as you get older, they're going to make you pay more for less benefit, right? Why? Because they didn't mitigate the risk on the front end. They gave you the policy, they say, law of large numbers. If we got a bunch of people doing this policy with the firm, then we don't need to go through underwriting or ask them a bunch of medical questions or do an exam. We're going to assume they're all healthy and give you that coverage, right? So because they did not do their risk mitigation on the front end, they're going to do everything they can to mitigate that risk on the back end, right? They're not trying to pay out those death benefits. So understand that. And then the biggest issue is the fact that most of the time your group term policy through work gives you 1 or 2 times your income. Unless your plan is to die and then come back to life 2 years later to continue bringing in income for your family, 2 years worth of your salary is nowhere near enough, right? If you own a home or plan to own homes, that means you're going to have mortgage or mortgages that if something happens to you, that's a debt that could pass down to your family. So you want to make sure that's covered. If you have children that are dependent on your income or plan to have children that are dependent on your income, that means children are usually dependent for 18, 20 years. Imagine a $50,000 earner, right? Imagine you make 50 grand a year and your family is dependent on that money. If you pass away when you have a baby at home, that's $1 million. $50,000 times the 20 years that they would have been dependent on you, that's $1 million that you would have been bringing into your household that is no longer coming in. So the question is, how's your family going to replace that? Are they going to be able to live the life that you want them to live, whether you're here or not, right? We got to consider that, because if you leave them, we can put this amazing plan together to save for your house and your car and your retirement and your vacations and all these amazing things you want to do in life. But as soon as you become sick or disabled or you pass away, that plan is going to change drastically for the people that you leave behind. So what I would urge you to do is set yourself up with a self-completing plan, right? Make sure that if something happens to you, the plans that you have for your family can complete itself. And that's what life insurance does. So me personally, I plan to bring in millions of dollars into my family over my lifetime. But if something happens to me and I'm not here to be able to do that, I'm damn sure going to make sure they have at least $1 million, right? So that's why when I was 24 years old, I locked in a term policy and I locked in $1 million of coverage, and it cost me $35 a month. I could not do that. I couldn't go out and spend money to eat, spend money on food or just spend money frivolously on entertainment and then say, nah, I'm not going to spend $1 a day to make sure if something happens to me, my family gets $1 million. It just didn't sit right with me. I can't not do that, right? And if I waited until I was 30 and my rating went from the best rating, select preferred, to an average standard rating that most 30-year-olds get, that would be not $35, but $100 a month. So I just saved myself a bunch of future dollars by locking in my insurability now while I'm young and healthy, because the price of insurance is based off your age and your health. You don't buy life insurance with money. You buy it with your health. So the best time to buy it is now while you're young and healthy, so that you mitigate the risk, right? Well, it's guaranteed to be more expensive as you get older, and most people are not getting healthier as they get older. So we want to mitigate the risk that you would not be approved for it, or that you would be paying much higher rates than you would now. right? Let's lock it in now, and let's have a personally owned policy, not only through group term, right? So I'm definitely going to be talking more about this topic. I know it's not the sexiest thing to talk about in the world, but it's extremely important, and I want to provide this education to you guys. So hope this added value, and as always, I love you guys, and I'm looking forward to the next video.